Hey everybody, how's it? Aloha. Mastodon. Been getting a lot of these in the comments. It's taking me some time to get through it, but I've got Mastodon Steambreather here. Very first time I'm hearing any of their music, but I have heard the name is kind of cycled through in all the comments quite a bit, so it is Mastodon time. I have one more brand new band of a song I've never heard posted and ready to go, and then after that I'm going to go into a run of cycling back to some of the older ones to now kind of, as I'm going down many different little rabbit holes, bring in some new tracks that you guys have suggested on top of the very first one or second one of the band, whatever it is that I'm recycling and doing. So I want to thank all you guys for your comments, support. A lot of people are sharing these videos. I just got a notice that some metal magazine shared one of my videos. Totally stoked on that. This was just not what I planned with the channel and everything, but I'm just completely stoked. I want to thank you guys, those of you who have bought me a cup of coffee, that know that my channel is not monetized. Even though you see commercials, they're not mine. It's copyright claims from the band, so I'm not running the ads. They are. I want to thank you guys for the support on that. And so let's do this. Mastodon Steambreather. All right. Okay, so, you know, when I listen to new bands, I don't know exactly what to expect. Is it a growling band? Is it a heavy, detailed, dynamic, powerfully structured, engineered, heavily syncopated, and with rhythms and counter-rhythms? What I'm loving about what I'm hearing thus far is this is a pure metal groove that is not shy of just saying, we're going to take it to you all the way. We're 2 minutes into this song. It's a 4.5 minute song. And that riff that they set up with, it's not a really tricky riff, but it's extremely catchy. I'm not hitting the right notes, but I already have that locked in my head. And where I had expected as the vocals came in, for it to maybe do a turnaround into a chorus, they decided to take it home even more and let that verse stretch out for 2 times what typically would be in a minute to win it kind of radio cut style track, you know, a short track, maybe at about 3.5 to 4.5 minutes. I love the fact that when there was a small turnaround between verse 1A, verse 1B, there was that really powerful lead that they threw in right there. I mean, it wasn't in a secondary riff. It was definitely a lead that plowed through it with a very raw and distorted sound. And I like that it wasn't ultimately heavily refined, a compressed, affected guitar, and the rawness of that really shot through. The drums, that pattern that he's keeping, I guess the tempo is. And then when the hook comes in, and that is an ace rhythm movement to get you to jump and pop into the hook. All the elements come together in the hook. The lead singer's voice, which is absolutely crazy. I love his tone of his voice, the timbre of his voice. I can't tell if there are some parts that are doubled in there. I learned my lesson early on doing these things that if I mention the word effects and stuff, I do that ever so gingerly. I don't think there's any effects in it. It doesn't feel like it, but there's a unique perhaps layering that's going on there. But when the hook comes in and that harmony happens, that harmony is tightly packed. And what I love about it is that the first 4 bars of it is following this kind of a droney, heavy key that still keeps you in this kind of wanting darkness kind of vibe. But then the last note actually leaves you hanging, and it's a suspended note. It could be the second or the fourth theory stuff. And it actually brings a resolution to it, but it also brings you to say, oh, okay, I need it to be resolved. And I love that it turns around back into the hook, repeats that pattern again. And then after the hook is over, they really dial it down where the bass, I love the bass tone on this because the guitars, when it first started on the riff, it wasn't a hard left, hard right kind of a thing in the headsets. But it definitely had a very powerful distorted package in the middle. It was all packaged right about here. But then when the bass came in, playing that in unison, the tone of the bass really defined the riff. So now what happens is it's coming after the hook. The bass right now by itself is holding down that riff, as I can hear thus far. I think I stopped it. I don't know what's coming after this. I'm assuming that there's going to be more guitar. But this little area right now that I just stopped in, I'll go back a little bit as I continue through. The bass now is holding that, and that is very kind of ominous. That's kind of like, I'm coming at you, just chill out, we're taking a breather, and at least that's what it seems is going to happen. I'll take it back a little bit and let's go forward. All right. I'm going to go back a little more.
I'm afraid of myself. Watching you crumble to the ground made me want to run away.
Crazy. Okay, these guys are not afraid to play around with the, let me stop this, stand by. With the layers of tones in their guitars. In certain sections, they like really, it sounded like they really scooped the mids or something in it. They're playing around with their tones in the guitars on their overdubs. There was that phrase that they were playing that felt like it was a solo, but it sounded more like a purposefully written melody. That the lead was up high over here. There was a melody, a harmony that was happening down here, but there was still guitar managing the bottom. So that hence, the layering that was going over there. And then of course the bass and the drums are completely locking it down and keeping it in the pocket through the whole thing, while these guys are being really creative with their arrangement and everything. The notes, when you go back and listen to this, without me yammering, there'll be a link of this video on its own. The words am, da, 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 I am, da, 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 I forgot the other words. Those two words are when that really super cool note in the harmony hangs out there and leaves you kind of creeping for like, I want a resolution to that. And to leave that hanging into the second part of that hook is a real super cool, catchy way to compose harmonies to keep you in the hook. So anyhow, Mastodon Steambreather, thank you guys so much for suggesting this. I have one more coming of a band here that I've never heard of, and then like I said, I'm going to cycle back through quite a few of the bands that I've already established myself with. Thank you guys for hanging out. Thank you guys for those of you who have already bought me a cup of coffee. Thank you so much. Your generosity is absolutely sick. I really appreciate it. And of course, the link for the headsets are below. If you're still here, type in "I'm still here." And outside of that, tomorrow's going to be a busy day for me here on this channel because I think I'm going to do 3 tomorrow. I have a little bit of time ahead of me before I have a little job coming around the corner. Yeah, I actually work too. All right, guys. Take care. All right.